A disturbing mystery has emerged in Osogbo, Osun State, after an unidentified woman was found dead inside a church premises with her left wrist reportedly cut off and taken away by unknown persons. According to Punch, the discovery in the Obelowo area of Osogbo has triggered a police investigation, with detectives now working to establish the identity of the deceased, determine how she died, and uncover what happened to the severed body parts. The incident has left residents with a series of unanswered questions. Who was the woman? How did she end up inside the church premises? Who killed her? And perhaps, most disturbing of all, why was her left wrist cut off and taken away? According to the Nigerian Police Force Public Relations Officer, Annie Iniedu, police detective visited the scene after the discovery of the woman's body was reported. The police said preliminary investigations indicated that the woman had been slaughtered and that her left wrist had been cut off. That cut-off wrist was reportedly taken away by unknown persons. The shocking nature of the discovery has now made the identification of the victim one of the first priorities for investigations. At the moment, authorities have not released the woman's name because her identity has yet to be established. Police investigators are also yet to determine the motive behind the killing. Annie Iniedu confirmed that investigations were ongoing and that detectives were working to establish the circumstances surrounding the woman's death. The investigations revealed that the deceased was slaughtered and her left wrist cut off and taken away by unknown persons. The police spokesperson said, "Those words have placed the missing body parts at the center of the investigation. Investigators will now have to determine whether the woman was killed inside the church premises or whether her body was brought there after she had been killed elsewhere. That question could be critical in reconstructing the final moments of the victim and identifying those responsible. Police detectives are expected to examine the location for evidence that could help establish how the woman arrived at the premises and what happened before her body was discovered. Investigators also need to establish whether anyone saw the victim before her death or noticed suspicious movements around the church. The victim's identity could provide the first major breakthrough. Once identified, investigators could begin examining her background, movements, relationships, and activities before her death in an effort to establish how she came to be at the location. The circumstances surrounding the disappearance of her wrist are also expected to form a major part of the investigation. At this stage, the police have not disclosed why the body part was removed or who may have taken it. No motive has been established, no suspect has been publicly identified, and no person has been officially linked to the killing. The woman's body was subsequently removed from the scene and deposited at the hospital mortuary. According to the police, an autopsy will be conducted. That examination is expected to provide investigators with further evidence about the cause and circumstances of her death. The autopsy could help establish the injuries sustained by the victim and provide information that may assist detectives in reconstructing the sequence of events. Meanwhile, the State Command Investigation Department has commenced a formal investigation into the incidents. The investigation is likely to involve multiple stages, including efforts to identify the deceased, examine the scene, gather forensic evidence, and establish the circumstances that led to her death. The fact that the woman was discovered inside the church premises has added another disturbing dimension to the case. Places of worship are generally regarded as locations of safety and refuge, making the discovery particularly alarming for residents in the Obelowo area. The incident has already raised concerns within the community, as residents await answers from investigators. But beyond the immediate shock is the question of whether the killing could be connected to a wider pattern of violent crimes involving the mutilation of victims. The latest case has brought back memories of another disturbing incident reported in southwestern Nigeria. In May 2015, A woman was reportedly found dead and dumped inside a drainage along OGTV Road in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Residents reportedly woke up to the shocking discovery. According to reports at the time, the woman's private parts had been mutilated. The circumstances surrounding her death and how her body was transported to the drainage were not immediately established. That earlier case generated concerns because of the condition in which the victim was found. Now, more than a decade later, another disturbing case involving the mutilation of a female victim has emerged in Osun State. However, investigators have not established any connection between the two incidents. The Osogbo case remains under investigation, and authorities are yet to determine the reason behind the removal of the woman's wrist. For the police, the immediate priority is to establish the facts. The identity of the victim must be confirmed. Her family must be located. The circumstances surrounding her death must be established, and whoever was responsible for the killing must be identified. Investigators will also need to determine whether the cut-off wrist was removed for a specific purpose or whether it formed part of the circumstances of the killing. These questions could become central to the case as detectives gather more evidence. The investigation is now being handled by the State Command Investigation Department, with the police expected to pursue available leads. The autopsy will also provide important information as the investigation progresses. For the people of Obelewo, however, the discovery has left the community facing a disturbing mystery. An unidentified woman entered the final chapter of her life and was found dead inside the church premises. Her left wrist was reportedly cut off and removed, and the people responsible remain unknown until investigators identified the victim and established what happened before her death. The circumstances surrounding the killing will remain shrouded in mystery. The case therefore remains a race against time for investigators. Every piece of evidence from the scene could matter. Every person who saw the woman before her death could hold a clue. Every detail surrounding her movements could help investigators reconstruct what happened. And every lead could bring authorities closer to the person or persons responsible. For now, the police have confirmed the gruesome discovery and the commencement of an investigation. The woman's identity remains unknown. The motive remains unknown. The whereabouts of the cut-off wrist remain unknown, and no suspect has been publicly identified. But the investigation is underway, and authorities are working to answer the questions surrounding one of the most disturbing discoveries reported in Osogbo. As detectives continue their investigation and await the results of the autopsy, attention remains focused on the Obelewo and on the search for answers to a case that has shocked the community. Who was the woman? Who killed her? And why was her wrist taken away? Those are the questions the police must now solve. If you find this report informative, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our latest security and crime reports. I'm Chidera Osun. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next reports.